The ropes burned Cordelia May's wrists, but the shame searing her chest hurt worse. At 17, she stood on a rickety wooden platform in Deadwood's dusty Main Street, every leering eye in the crowd stripping her bare. Her father, Jeremiah Whitmore, stood beside the platform, hat low, voice breaking as he announced to the filthy, jeering men that his daughter was for sale to the highest bidder. "She's pure, untouched, strong as an ox. Starting bid's $50, enough to cover what I owe Mr. Voss." Malachi Voss, perched on his black horse like a vulture, counted coins in his scarred palm, his cold eyes sizing Cordelia up like livestock. 3 months ago, he'd loaned Jeremiah money to save their failing ranch. Now, with interest and penalties, the debt had ballooned to $200, money they didn't have. The first bids came fast. A tobacco-stained prospector shouted $60, a saloon owner with rotting teeth raised it to $75. Each number drove a nail into Cordelia's heart. She thought of running, but Voss's men circled the platform, hands on their guns. The autumn wind whipped her brown hair as she scanned the crowd, seeing only predators. Then she saw him. At the back, a tall man in a weathered black coat stood still, arms crossed, watching with a hawk's intensity. The bidding hit $120 when he moved. The crowd parted as he approached, his steel-gray eyes locking with Cordelia's for a moment. Hope flickered in her chest. Voss noticed him too, his cruel smile fading. The stranger stopped at the platform, pulled a leather pouch from his coat, and emptied a pile of silver coins into his hand, more money than most in Deadwood had ever seen. $200, he said, his voice slicing through the crowd's noise. Silence fell. The bid wasn't just the highest, it was the exact amount of Jeremiah's debt, leaving no profit for Voss. The debt collector's face reddened. He'd planned to buy Cordelia cheap, then sell her to a Denver brothel for triple. "Now hold on," Voss began, but the stranger cut him off. "The bid's $200. Do I hear higher?" No one spoke. The stranger's presence, calm, but promising violence, stifled any challenge. Jeremiah, sweating, took the money with trembling hands. "Cut her loose," the stranger ordered. As the ropes fell, Cordelia rubbed her raw wrists, staring at her savior. Scars marked his hands, a mended bullet hole pierced his coat. "Thank you," she whispered, unsure if she meant it. He nodded once, then faced the crowd. "This girl's under my protection now. Anyone got a problem, settle it with me." The crowd scattered, but Voss's hateful glare as he rode off promised trouble. The stranger helped Cordelia down with surprising gentleness. "What's your name?" she asked. "Thaddeus Crow," he replied, tipping his hat. "Folks call me Silent." Before she could ask why, Jeremiah stammered gratitude, clutching the coins. Silent's eyes turned cold. "You sold your daughter to pay a gambling debt, Whitmore. Don't expect thanks." Jeremiah's face crumpled, but he took the money and left. Alone with Silent, Cordelia asked, "What happens now?" He adjusted his hat against the sun. "Got a ranch 10 miles north. Honest work, honest shelter. Stay there till you figure things out." Suspicious, she pressed, "What do you expect in return?" "Nothing you ain't willing to give." "I need help with cooking, cleaning. You need a safe place. Fair trade." His tone held no deceit, but she hesitated. "Why help me?" Silent's voice grew heavy. "Someone should have helped my sister. Nobody did. She paid the price." The raw pain in his words disarmed her. They rode to Silent's ranch, Cordelia behind him on his black stallion, tense and hyper-aware of his every move. His silence wasn't cold, it was respectful, giving her space to process. As they crested a hill, the ranch appeared, a modest house, barn, and sagging fences. It was rough but safe. Then Silent tensed, reining in the horse. "Front doors open." "I always lock it." Her blood chilled. Someone had been inside, maybe still was. Silent dismounted, drew his pistol with practiced ease, and motioned for her to stay behind the horse. He moved like a predator, vanishing around the house. Minutes later, he returned, face grim. "They're gone, but they left a message." Inside, the house was trashed, furniture overturned, dishes smashed. Red paint scrawled across the wall, "She belongs to me. Voss." He made this personal, Silent said, voice deadly calm. Cordelia sank into a chair, guilt crushing her. "This is my fault. I should leave." Silent shook his head. "Voss doesn't forgive. Running makes you an easier target." He pried up a floorboard, revealing a rifle, ammunition, and coins. "We prepare for war." Her heart raced. "Against Voss and his men? There's only 2 of us." Silent checked the rifle. 2 willing to die for something are worth more than a dozen hired guns. "What are you willing to die for?" The question hit hard. Hours ago, she'd have said nothing. Now, staring at the man who risked everything for her, she found her answer. "My dignity. And for someone who saw me as more than property." Silent almost smiled. He handed her a pistol. "You know how to shoot. My mother taught me at 12. Good. We're about to have company." Hooves thundered outside, 6 riders. Silent positioned himself at the front window, rifle ready. "Cover the back door. Shoot first." Voss's voice rang out, "Crow, send out my property, and maybe I'll let you live." Silent didn't answer. "Light it up." Voss shouted. Gunfire erupted, bullets tearing through the walls. Cordelia pressed against the floor as Silent returned fire, dropping 1 man. A bearded thug burst through the back door, pistol raised. Cordelia fired twice, her mother's training steadying her hands. The man fell, dead. "Good shot," Silent called, "but stay focused." Voss's men aimed for the oil lamps, igniting the house. Flames spread fast. "They're burning us out," Silent said, reloading. Voss shouted, "Last chance, Crow." Cordelia met Silent's eyes. "I'm not going." He nodded, respect clear. "Then we make our stand." Smoke choked the air. Silent pulled her toward the kitchen. Root cellar. Tunnel to the barn. They crawled through a hidden door as the house burned above. The tunnel was tight, dirt filling Cordelia's mouth, but they emerged in the barn. Silent outlined his plan. "They think we're dead. I'll hit them from behind. You ride to town, get the sheriff." Cordelia gripped his arm. "I'm not leaving. I'm a good shot, and I'm done running." Silent studied her, then nodded. "Do exactly what I say." He positioned her behind hay bales with a clear view of the yard. "Wait for my whistle." He slipped into the dusk. Through the barn slats, Cordelia saw Voss's men laughing, thinking they'd won. Voss stood apart, smug in the firelight. Silent's whistle pierced the air. Cordelia fired, and Silent's rifle roared from the tree-line. 2 men dropped instantly, a third clutched his shoulder. Voss screamed, "Kill them both." His last 2 men turned toward Cordelia, but Silent cut them down. Only Voss remained, hand twitching near his gun. Silent faced him, rifle steady. "Draw, Voss." The debt collector froze, knowing he was outmatched. "This ain't over," he snarled. "Yes, it is," Silent said, and shot him dead. Cordelia collapsed, shaking. Silent helped her up, his gray eyes softer now. "It's over." 3 months later, in a quiet Deadwood church, Cordelia May became Cordelia Crow. From the ashes of that day, she'd found a home, and a man who saw her as a person, not property.